السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، ومرحبا بكم مرة أخرى في سلسلة IELTS with شيبان. الفيديو اليوم راح يكون مخصص لتاسك 2 Academic Writing اللي هي الكتابة الأكاديمية في تاسك 2 لامتحان الآيلتس. وهذه حتكون سلسلة حقيقة لتغطية لا نستطيع أن نغطي جميع التاسك 2 أو محاور تاسك 2 في فيديو واحد، وذلك لعامل الوقت أو التفاصيل الدقيقة الكثيرة الخاصة في هذا الامتحان. لكن السلسلة أو الفيديو اللي حتشاهدوه اليوم إن شاء الله حيتكلم بصورة عامة عن أنواع الثلاثة التي إن شاء الله حنخصص لها وقت في هذه السلسلة لتاسك 2، وهي Opinion Essay, Argument Essay and Problem Solution Essay. وهذه الأنواع الثلاثة التي هي تكون محاور الامتحان المركزة عليها بشكل كبير، وكيفية التعامل معها بشكل يضمن للطالب درجة عالية فيما يخص حاجة اسمها Task Response و Cohesion، أي تحقيق الهدف أو تحقيق هدف الكتابة مع الفهم وربط الأفكار، طبعا بالإضافة إلى الفوكابولري والجرامر اللي احنا تكلمنا عليهم كثيرا في السلسلة أو في الفيديوهات السابقة، اللي هي مطلب أساسي للطلبة الراغبين في الحصول على درجة أكثر من 7، وهذه الأشياء اللي هي technical points. فإذا الفيديو سيركز على الهيكلية أو the frame of task 2 writing academic writing for IELTS اللي هو الفريم الشكل العام، ثم التقنيات والأساليب في طرح الفكرة، تطوير الفكرة، وربطها برأي الكاتب من أجل الوصول إلى كتابة ناجحة أو أساي فعال بحيث الطالب يستطيع أن يحقق الدرجة المطلوبة. أعيد وأكرر هنا أنه هنالك مواصفات لكل باند، لكل درجة مطلوبة يجب على الطالب أن يوفرها في الامتحان من أجل الحصول. لا توجد هناك أمور شخصية في الامتحان أو من الممتحن، ولا توجد هنالك اعتبارات خاصة في التصحيح، بل هنالك آلية متبعة، وهذه الآلية سبقا شرحناها في ما يسمى بالببليك باند ديسكريبتورز، وهي موجودة أيضا في المواد أو الماتيريالز اللي وفرناها لهذه المجموعة من الدروس. أرجو أن تنال إعجابكم، وأيضا كما قلت في السابق أي سؤال أو أي شيء يطرأ على بالكم أو لم يتم فهمه بشكل واضح أرجو التعليق عليه من أجل أن يوضح بشكل أفضل في الفيديوهات اللاحقة، وشكرا.
Hi everybody. This is task 2 writing, and in this episode I'm going to talk about what are the criteria needed for task 2, what are the elements making task 2 for IELTS. And to start with, I want just to make a revision of the public band descriptors, as you can see in front of you. In this, as you see in the figure, we have what's called task response here, and coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range, and accuracy. Of course, task 2 is different from task 1 in the case that in task 1 we have task achievement, but in task 2 we have completely different criteria, which is task response. In this episode, I'm going to put the foundations for band 5 to 6 for IELTS academic writing, but in the next classes, I'm going to develop this, we say level, to be 7 and more. I mean band score 7 and more. Just for the task response, of course, in this way of teaching, I'm going to focus firstly on task response and coherence and cohesion, and to show the students what does it mean task response, how to fully fulfill the requirements for task response, and what does it mean coherence and cohesion in case of task 2. First thing first, we have to look, if you look at band 5 and 6 in here, we have for band 5 and 6 addresses all the parts of the task, although some parts may be more fully covered than others. First, we have to know what are the parts of each question, how many parts are there, and how to deal with these parts one by one. Then the position number 2, point number 2, which is a very important point in here, which is position, how to deal with the writer's position or opinion. Then how, number 3, main ideas and development of these main ideas and supporting examples. Of course, the way which I'm going to follow is actually to focus on the requirements for band 8 and 9. Task response, whether it doesn't necessarily mean if you want band 5 or 6, it doesn't necessarily mean that your task response is not clear. No, I'm just focusing on the idea of making the task response cohesion as high as possible. Then that makes students able to achieve or to cover the other issues, which is the number 1 is lexical resource, means vocabulary and the kind of vocabulary needed, and of course the chronic problem, which is this problem all students should solve this problem before even starting the IELTS course, which is the grammar, range, and the accuracy of their language. And of course, I mean complex grammar in here for people who want to take more than band 6 and 7. Now, in this chart, now we are going to go back to of course, the material I'm going to use is from the book of New Insight into IELTS. As I said previously, you can download this file from the cloud I uploaded several weeks ago, and you can download this book. It's called New Insight into IELTS. It's a Cambridge book, and this level is good for band 5 to 6, which is the level I'm going to start with. Then I'm going to develop to reach more than band 7. Now, there are 3 types of questions in IELTS. 3 types of questions, and IELTS, of course, questions are based on these 3 different, we say, tasks or questions. Number 1 is called the opinion essay. So we can say opinion O, argument AR or OP. If I say OP, opinion, argument, and problem and solution. Okay, the first thing you should notice or you should know in IELTS, 2 things are very important in every question. Number 1, called the topic, and number 2 is called the task. So which one is the topic? Which one is the task? If you look closely at this question, these days everyone seems to have more and more possessions. Example, computers, cars, mobile phones, etc. Our strong desire to own these things is making us less aware of important personal qualities such as kindness and concern for others. Do you agree or disagree? First, this is an opinion essay. It is an opinion, an OP question. And in the opinion essay, you should know, of course, which point talks about the topic, and this is extremely important thing, topic, we say topic, and which one covers the task. The topic is a fact, and in IELTS we never discuss the facts, we just present them. So no discussion, no development, we just present the topic. The topic is the umbrella that covers the task. Now, the topic is always, it's a fact, a statement, which the question starts with. It says here, these days, everyone seems to have more and more possessions. And we have here examples, computers, cars, mobile phones, etc. Please, we never discuss the topic. We never talk about computers or cars or mobile phones. These are examples just to explain the meaning of the topic. So what is the best technique here? We have something called to paraphrase the topic or the fact or the umbrella that we say introduces the question. Of course, in task 1, we have something called rephrasing. That means rewording the words. So we have to say the words again in the question that is in task 1. But task 2 here is different, completely different. For people who seek or looking for more than band 6, you have to paraphrase here. Paraphrasing means you have to give the topic, to write the topic using your own words and way of thinking. So these days, everyone seems to have more and more possessions. So these possessions, it's a factual issue. That means majority of people, or he said everyone, that means all people have, or all people are really concerned with having, we say, more personal issues or personal, we say, objects like houses, cars, money, etc. Then after the topic comes the task, and the task is the point, is the issue that you should cover in your, let's say, essay. As I said, this is an opinion essay, agree or disagree. So your opinion, you should say, if you say agree, our strong desire to own these things is making us less aware of important personal qualities. So do you think so? Do you think this is true, that people, when they are looking for more and more things to have, to acquire, to collect, do these things make them less aware? Or this we say their request for having more things is making them less aware of, let's say, others, they are less concerned for others? Or you disagree, that means you are partially disagree, completely disagree, strongly disagree, so that what comes out of your, we say, your opinion. Okay, we have an issue. I'm going to start with from now. In IELTS, any opinion question, we can change it to an argument. I mean, the opinion here, you can make it an argument. You can say some people believe this, in this view, that means they do agree with this statement, or others disagree with this statement, that means they think this is not true, and then you have to give your, we say, position or opinion concerning this point. So the opinion question can be changed to an argument, but unfortunately the argument question, we cannot change it to an opinion question. And this is what I'm going, inshallah, to we say, to remind you when it comes to the we say, the argument questions. Now let's move to another question. Again, as I said, you have to see which is the topic, which is the task. Now, look at this question. Again, these questions are from the Cambridge book, New Insight into IELTS. Yes. Now look at this question. Mobile phones have changed the way many people communicate. Nowadays, people cannot live without them if they want to be part of society. To what extent do you think this is true? Why do you think some people have not adapted to this type of communication? One of the tips which I always ask my students to do before even answering a question, please read the question carefully 2 times and even sometimes 3 times. So read the question, topic and task 2 times, 3 times, just to see which point is the topic and which is the task. Now, again, as I said previously, the topic, it is a statement, it is a fact, and this fact starts in here. Mobile phones have changed the way many people communicate. Nowadays, people cannot live without them if they want to be part of society. So, mobile phones have changed the way many people communicate, and this is a fact. No one can say, no, this is a false fact, this is not happening, or it is just untrue. So what do we do here? We paraphrase, that means we present the topic using our own way of thinking, but please try to focus on the topic and do not go and discuss things away from it. So the topic here, this is the topic. Mobile phones have changed the way many people communicate. Now, the task. Nowadays, people cannot live without them if they want to be part of society. So if you want to be part of a society, you should be part, or if you should have a mobile phone. Also, there is another part of this task. Why do you think some people haven't adapted to this type of communication? So some people haven't adapted yet to this type of communication. That means, yes, they are living in our communities, but they haven't fully, we say, engaged with mobile phones. So here you have to present. Again, this is an opinion essay, and you can change this opinion to an argument. I mean, you can make it an opinion by saying agree or disagree from the beginning, from your introduction. You either agree or disagree with this statement, then you continue. But if you want to change it to an argument, yes, you can here, you can make it an argument. You say that some people believe that they are adopted, or they think this is true, completely true, partially true, that if you want to be part of society, you should have a mobile phone. Others, they disagree with this, or they have another, we say, different opinion. Again, you have to show me your position from the beginning to the end. Do you think this is correct? Do you think this is incorrect? Do you agree with, or your view is against? Now, let's do it again. Look at this question, everybody. These days, internet-based courses have become a popular alternative to university-based courses. Some students prefer this type of learning because they do not need to attend lectures. Others argue that it is important to study at university. Discuss both views and give your own opinion. Now, again, you have to decide what is the topic. We say the topic is the umbrella that covers the task. So the topic here, the first topic, these days, internet-based courses have become a popular alternative to university-based courses. So what is the topic here? The topic is about education, and not any type of education. It is about online and university education. And this is a very, we say, common topic. What is the task? Some students prefer this type of learning because they do not need to attend lectures. Others argue it is important to study at universities. So the task here, the task talks about two views, and in the question he said discuss both these views. So this is an argument. What are these both views? View 1, some people believe or think it is a good idea to study at universities, to study online, while others prefer to study at universities. Again, because it's an argument, remember, when he says discuss both, you have to discuss both. So you can't change the argument and make it an opinion essay. It's a must to follow the, we say, requirements of the question here, which is discuss both views. So you have to discuss both, means you have to show why do some people prefer to study online, and you give your position with this point, and then you discuss why some people prefer to go to real universities. That means to study at universities in real classes. And again, you have to show me your position with this point in here. You can make it as a suggestion. This kind of questions is a very good example to make what's called balance argument essay. Balance means you are in the middle. That means your position is with both. Some people prefer to study online because online studying is convenient, cheaper, and of course it consumes less time, and people can have more, we say, flexi time for their work and study. Then you agree with this view and your position, you think this is a sensible way to study. On the other hand, some people prefer to go to universities because universities are convenient, they can share experiences with others. That means the social interaction is higher than online courses, so they can share their ideas with their mates, with their colleagues, or their classmates in the class. Also, universities provide, let's say, technical, we say, support, and they have laboratories, they have technologies supporting the knowledge learn, so or the learning process. So in this way, people can even develop their future skills. Again, you can support this view. You agree that is university or studying at university is a sensible way for future, we say, careers. Anyway, your opinion or your position can be balanced or allocated to both here, to study online and to study at university, and this is what is called balanced argument. That means the writer, which is you are the writer, you are with both views in here, and of course your position supports both of them. We have another question here. Just a little note, which as I want just to mention here. Most of the topics I'm dealing with in my online courses or in real class courses, I deal with some debatable issues or some topics which are rather difficult to develop, and that's why I'm giving the opportunity to my students just to try to think about these topics, and they might have something similar in the exam, because the number of topics is limited. We talk about education, we talk about traveling, we talk about communication, we talk about healthcare, we talk about childcare, we talk about, let's say, community services, social issues related to communities. But the tasks are vast, and the tasks are too many. So it is very, it's a waste of time if you try to cover the tasks, because they are, if I don't say hundreds, they are, if I don't say thousands, they are hundreds. But the topics are easier to be, we say, covered. And in this way, you can have the vocabulary about education, and you can use this kind of knowledge in any kind of essays you are facing. If we talk about media, if we talk about art, if we talk about education, so there are certain vocabulary for each topic of these, and you can use them in your writing. Now let's look at this question. Children over 15 should be allowed to make decisions about their lives without the interference of their parents or teachers. Society should accept that children mature at younger age these days and should adjust the law accordingly. Agree, disagree. Again, as you can see, this is an opinion essay. It's about yes. And as I said previously, it's a good tip for the exam before even thinking or starting answering the question. You should read the question at least 2 times to 3 times to see what is the topic, what is the task. The topic, as I said, is the umbrella, that's the fact. We never discuss the fact. We just present, paraphrase the fact, and then we discuss, we present, we discuss, we develop the task. Now, children over 15 should be allowed to make decisions about their lives without the interference of their parents or teachers. So this is statement, and he says children. Children means youngsters from 15 to 18, according to the UNICEF. And these people should be allowed to make decisions. That means it's now, it's not, we don't say it's a requirement that these children should make decisions more freely and to be more dependent rather than taking, we say, or rather than interfering or without the interference of their parents or teachers. Society should accept that children mature at younger age these days and should adjust the law accordingly. Now, do you agree with this statement? Do you agree that children should make their decisions without any interference from the elderly or their parents or their teachers? Or you disagree? Here, you cannot change this to an argument. Some people agree, some people. If you make it, sometimes it would be difficult to cover. So which one is easier for you? Is it easier to say, I agree, completely agree, then you develop your opinion, or you disagree? Or you can say, you partially agree about this and you develop. If you want to make it an argument, this will be a little bit more difficult because you have to show both views. Some people agree, some people disagree, but again, you have to show your position with both views. So you have to show me or to show the examiner, do you agree or disagree? You cannot say agree and disagree at the same time. So your position comes out of, we say, the development and discussion of these points. Now, this question talks about cars and accidents. There are more cars on the roads these days and more accidents. As a result, some politicians have suggested that people should take regular driving tests throughout their lives rather than one single test. What do you think are the advantages of repeat driving tests? Do these outweigh the disadvantages? Now here you have again to read the question. What kind of a question do you think? Is it an opinion question? Is it an argument question? So what is the fact or the topic? The topic here says there are more cars on the road these days and more accidents. So this is the topic. Talks about more cars, and of course, as a result or consequently, we have more accidents. So no one can say this is untrue. It is a fact. As a result, some politicians have suggested that people should take regular driving tests throughout their lives rather than one single test. What do you think are the advantages of repeat driving tests? Do these outweigh the disadvantages? So here you have to present the advantages of repeating the driving test. and the disadvantages of repeating the driving test. For example, if we talk about why people should be made by law, or we say forced by law, to take another driving test or to repeat the driving test. So your main idea may be to check their physical ability. I mean their, for example, visual status. In this way, when they go and check or double check, repeat the driving test, there should be a medical report concerning their health. So in this way, people with chronic diseases like heart or cardio diseases or hypertension, so this will be clear in the reports. As a result, they are not going to be allowed to drive. So that's one of the good issues, to check the physical ability of drivers. Also, when people repeat the driving test, their knowledge concerning the traffic, the laws of traffic will be updated. And in this way, maybe their knowledge about these laws would reduce or could reduce or might reduce we say the amount of accidents happening, because people will be more aware of the consequences of violating, we say, these laws or regulations. On the other hand, some people think this is a waste of time and money when people do repeat the test again. And why is that? Because people, when they repeat, they have to, for example, pay more taxes, which is not very or highly acceptable or highly appreciated by many people. And of course, that would cost them more time to do take the procedures or take the steps again for having this, we say, or to renew their driving license. Also, the government should, let's say, should have or should hire more workers, more employees to do these tests, and of course that would cost the taxpayers more money, and this is not really acceptable in many societies. In the issue here, you have to show your position. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? If you believe this is a sensible way, so your position, you should agree with repeating. I mean, when you give the position, the point of repeating the test, you should say, I think this is a sensible way. I think this is a good way to repeat the test, even if it costs more money, but the benefit of having them will be higher than the money spent. So your position or the opinion of the writer is one of the main features or issues in task 2 writing. Without a clear opinion, you will never reach band 6. For band 6 and more, you should have a position, a clear position, and for 7 and more, you should have a very well developed ideas and opinions, and of course, we say examples which are related to this. If you look in here, we have 4 topics just to end the class with. So we have the topic of cities, the topic of air pollution, the topic of education, and the topic of tourism. Again, cities and lifestyle and city design, so you should prepare yourself before taking the exam to prepare yourself with some vocabulary related to the topic of cities, population, people, we say urban lives, people lives, lifestyle, social style of cities. Air pollution, again, you have to prepare yourself about, let's say, traffic jams, CO2 emissions, global warming, so and issues or vocabulary related to pollution. Education and tourism, of course, are one of the main topics that we have them in IELTS, either in reading, writing, listening, and speaking. So if you look at the topic of cities, so the fact is cities, and millions or billions of people live in cities nowadays. Look at the task. Why do people prefer to live in cities? How should cities be designed? So here you have to give main ideas. Why do people prefer to live in cities? You can talk about lifestyle, you can talk about job opportunities, you can talk about convenience, way of living, okay? And how should cities be designed? You can talk about, we say, friendly, environmental, we say, or ecologically friendly, we say buildings. That means that buildings that can help or can protect the cities from pollution. So you can talk about cities which are very well designed, and the infrastructure, that means the like underground electricity, communications are well organized and well managed. Air pollution, the topic of air pollution. Look at the task. What are the main causes of air pollution? What steps can we take to reduce it? This kind of question is problem solution, actually. This one is a problem solution essay. So what is the problem? It's the air pollution, and when the problem solution, it has a different structure, by the way. It is different from the opinion and argument. In the introduction of the problem solution, you should introduce and explain the problem fully. That means what are the main causes of air pollution. So you have to describe fully, and this is a very important word, fully, the problem. So the problem should be fully presented. Sorry for my awful handwriting. Anyway. What steps can we take to reduce it? And then you give solutions, solution 1, solution 2, solution 3, which at the end of your essay, you should recommend the best solution. So what are the main causes? You can talk about traffic, you can talk about telecommunications, you can talk about industrial activities, as you can see from the photo in front of you. So we can have this air pollution. And what steps? So we can, for example, have in green areas, we can have more strict laws concerning factories, so government can apply strict laws to make these factories follow the, we say, safe and we say environmental regulations safely. And of course, you can talk about awareness. Governments can, or media, through media, can increase the awareness of people in these issues, so they can help in reducing the level of air pollution. Education, if we go to the topic of education, which is here, how important is the university education? How has education changed over the years? So you can talk about education and its importance in society. Tourism, again, what are the benefits of tourism for the individual and society? How does tourism affect the environment? And this could be one of the problem solution essays again, so we can have the negative impact of tourism on the environment and what solutions might be given to solve these problems. At the end of the class, I'd like to thank you for sharing this class with me. Please, this is just the start. This is just one unit. I'm going to develop the other techniques and we say the things used for task 2 writing in the next classes, but this is just a start. Your feedback will be highly appreciated and highly beneficial for me, because your feedback will show me the points which I missed, so I can just focus on even further or in more detail, inshallah, the next episodes. Thank you so much for being with me, and this is IELTS with Shayban. Thank you.
مرحبا. كما مر فيكم أو مر معنا في الفيديو، هو عبارة عن مقدمة لشرح تاسك 2 رايتنج. ما هو هذا الامتحان، أو ما هو هذه الجزئية من الامتحان، وكيفية التعامل مع الأنواع الثلاثة اللي هي الأوبينيون أساي، argument أساي، وبروبلم سولوشن أساي. وحسب ما تكلمنا في بداية البرنامج، فإذا كان هناك أي سؤال قبل البداية بالسلسلة الفعلية للتعامل مع الأوبينيون بشكل منفصل عن الارجيومنت، بشكل منفصل عن البروبلم سولوشن اساي، فأرجو كتابة التعليقات. من هذه التعليقات أستطيع أن أفيدكم بتفصيل أكثر وعملي أكثر في الجزء الثاني من هذا الفيديو. وشكرا لمتابعتكم. This is IELTS with شيبان.